Greetings. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about harnessing your innate life force energy for healing. So this isn't a topic that you hear when you go to the medical profession, when you go to Western medicine. This is not a concept that is part of that paradigm. And so where that paradigm does have its use, in certain cases, especially emergency situations, and we thank and honor that system to be able to quickly put us back together, make everything work again, bring someone back from close to death. So I honor that system for that. And sometimes there are other circumstances where that paradigm comes in handy. But I would like to make a little bridge today from that paradigm and show you another paradigm that actually deals with health and the health of our body and the understanding that our bodies have innate wisdom. In fact, the natural state of the human body is health and wellness, well-being, homeostasis is another word we can use. So that means that we're in balance. That means our inner and outer environments are in harmony enough that our physical body is functioning optimally. There isn't any major thing that's off. And by off, we would mean there's some discomfort, right? There's some pain or some reoccurring nagging issue that we either see as growing or just is perpetually there, like pain. So those are signals from our body that tell us that we're out of homeostasis, and there's a desire, first of all, to give us the thought that we want to move back into harmony and we want to move back into homeostasis. So that communication, that pain, is the first line communication from our body to our mind. Our mind is actually the one that has the capacity to return our body to health. It is, you could say, the captain. It is literally, as spoken of in Eastern traditions, the witness, the third eye, the observer that stands in the observatory of the body and observes what's going on and literally gives the instructions back to the body of what to do. And this is happening either consciously or unconsciously. So unconsciously, we hear diagnosis or we look up on Google our symptoms and we get feedback on what is going on, and we may take in that information and it will default go right into our observer and dictate the similar conditions in our body if we are unconscious about it. So though it's good to reference other people's experiences, everyone else's experience is not your experience. Everyone else's body is not your body. Everyone else's trajectory in their life is not yours. So that trajectory is decided through this thinking capacity, this observer capacity, this mind, this higher mind. It can of course be lower mind that is not conscious of it, but higher mind is our goal. We want to come from wisdom. So in wisdom, we can always remember that our bodies want to be in homeostasis. They want to be in health. They want to be in balance. And if they are not, and we are getting signals that they are not, then our minds get to go to work first on figuring out what is it that is out of balance, first of all. And our bodies work as great metaphors besides physical things. So like our shoulders metaphorically also mean shouldering the burden. So if something's going on with our shoulders, we can ask ourselves, what am I shouldering that's too heavy? Or what am I trying to carry? What is the burden of my life? And that can also be upper back, where we might carry an actual burden. So see, there's always already languaging built in from our body to communicate to us how to interpret and work with what's going on. So let's look at some of the body interpretation, some of the language of the body. So behind the body, it is representative of the past, right? That is what is behind you, where you're coming from. And then in the front of the body is indicative of where you're going, the future, right? Or can be the now, but it is definitely facing forward into your life. So anything going on in the front of the body is going to either have to do with now or your fear of going forward. Something stopping you, some kind of barrier or alert system in the front of the body, like alert, scared to go forward. We'll just make it really simple. In the back of the body, something from the past is going on. Something from the past, a burden you've been carrying, how strong and stable you feel, because your back is going to be holding you up, stabilizing you, making you feel stable and supported. So when we can look at where these things are showing up, if you want to look at a whole bunch of references, Louise Hay, Love Your Body, she's a great reference for looking up all the different parts of the body, inner and outer, and what they might correlate to in our emotions. And it's actually very much common sense, you know, if you think about what they are, like stomach issues. If you're having digestive issues, what are you not digesting in your life situation? What is indigestible? Is it a relationship? Is it something you're learning that you just can't seem to digest? You're having indigestion about? You can't figure out what to eliminate and what to keep and assimilate? So remember, we are not just physical bodies. That's the important thing here. The Western medicine really just looks at the physical body itself. But when we look at another paradigm, including the Eastern medicine, we are looking at that we have more than one body. We have a physical body, but we also have an energy body, that is the energy of our life, where we get the words chi and life force energy and prana, and all of this refers to the energy that you either feel really a lot of or you don't. If you're really tired and down and depleted, you can tell what your energy body is doing, okay? And yeah, it can be correlated to your physical, and usually the physical will show up in some way if that keeps going on like that. You might be low in iron, or you might be low in another vitamin or mineral. That's the physical manifestation of what's going on in your energy body. And then we also have an emotional body. A really great, Dr. Bradley Nelson is actually one of my teachers, a chiropractor who works with physical bodies, works to adjust spine and all of this, right? He's the one that launched the emotion code work, which is where he found out how much emotions were affecting the physicality. And his whole system, which I am also a practitioner of, is all about locating where we trapped an emotion, what time we trapped it in our life, or which ones are coming down to us from our ancestors, generational stuff that is in the cells that affect the structure of the body and can inflict pain and suffering in other ways. That is not something we can physically go in and manipulate first. We have to go to the emotional level. And the emotional healing, clearing, and in this case there's a lot of clearing stuff out, does then affect the physical body. But the physical body is the final manifestation, right? It's the final, hey, like this is happening for real, I'm going to show you. But illness actually begins much further back, beyond the emotional body, into our thoughts and beliefs. What thoughts and beliefs we've picked up from our ancestors, from our parents, from the TV, from magazines, from society, from all of this self-talk and everything. And that also then roots from a spiritual miasm, some kind of a disconnect with the source of our life. What you might call God or source or the universal life force or divine mother or whatever you use to talk about source, love. Love is the word I like to use because it is the most universally understood. Because you're either feeling the love in your life flowing, or you aren't. Or you are a little bit here and there, but it's brief and it feels squeezed off. So this is actually the cause of any physical suffering, is this somehow being cut off from this love. So when we recognize that, we're tracing the root back. And we're like, okay, I understand. I need to reconnect to this love, but maybe I can't access it at a spiritual level right now. That level I can't access it at. So I'm going to go to the mental field and I'm going to look at what are my beliefs that are running. What am I thinking about my body and health? Am I thinking, oh my gosh, this is happening and there's nothing I can do about it? Am I thinking, oh my gosh, this means this is going to happen because that's what Google said or that's what my doctor said? Or are we taking the reins on that and becoming the master of this observer capacity and saying, okay, so this is happening. Let's look at what this might be related to. Back, front, knees are ego, feet are carrying me places, eyes are what I don't want to see, ears are what I don't want to hear, or I'm hearing too much, or I'm seeing too much, or teeth, mouth, I want to say something but I can't, or I'm biting on the words, or I'm biting my tongue, or all these metaphors to look at. And then first of all, not beating ourselves up for having done that. Having compassion. That we've all been, in a way, victims of society and conditioning and other people's opinions and the antics of our own mind, which we sometimes can't escape, but we can learn to master. And so as we begin to notice, then we start to recognize, oh, I needed a good environment for this attitude to heal itself, to become aligned again. I need a good environment for this. Just like you couldn't do an experiment in a lab if you had all this other junk in there too, you need a clean container. We also need a clean container to do our healing work, to do the work that we need to do in order to heal our physical body. So then we might want to look at our house and our surroundings and the people that we're hanging out with and ask, are these supportive elements to my healing? Do these have coherent energies? And sometimes they don't. And sometimes when we're ill, we need to separate ourselves from certain people. And to also look at our house where the clutter is. Like, this is very reflective of holding on to a lot of stuff, mentally, emotionally. A lot of what the body is trying to do all the time is detox, right? We take in so many things inadvertently, so many chemicals, so many artificial colors, flavors, sugars, caffeines. Then we take in environmental pollutants. We take in things in our water and in our air, and all of this stuff adds up to a lot of work that taxes the body. That's why juice fast or water fast once in a while is a really great idea, even once a week for a day or once a month for a day, but at least every year, every 6 months for a few days is a really great idea. And if you've never done that, it's okay, don't beat yourself up, but you can. And what that does is it just starts giving the body a place to unload some of this stuff without, every time we eat, we have to do work to digest, and we have to do work to assimilate and separate all the vitamins and minerals and find what is the waste and what we want to keep, and then it needs to go and it needs to feed everything, right? So if we don't eat and we're just doing a concentrated fast, then our body has time to release. But if you haven't done that a lot, there could be a lot backed up, and you don't want to shock your system all at once with all the toxins that have been stored, because we store those things in our fat tissue and different cells of the body and organs and so forth. And sometimes we can have a really toxic reaction if we immediately just cut all the food off when we start fasting. So this is where it's good to have a guide or a coach, someone that can like assess where you're at and like help you do it gradually. And you can also sense, I need to do this gradually. Maybe I just need to start cutting out certain things. What am I doing in excess? You know, there's conditions like gout and things like that that are very inflammatory, right? Arthritis. This is, what am I doing to excess? And what do I need to like pull back? And then there's like conditions that are lack, like anemia. Like, what am I not doing enough of? And then there are things in the body where the body's actually attacking itself, like autoimmune things. So then it's like, where am I attacking myself? Where am I at war with myself? And trying to correct some of these things first, trying to bring some compassion and love to the self, or feeling that way, identifying it, becoming more masterful of how you're looking at the situation. Sometimes a depleting thing is like, where am I giving my power away? My actual power, the energy of my body, where am I giving it? Who am I giving it to? Energetically, emotionally, mentally, that is not bringing me into balance. Something is going out of balance. And sometimes we're givers and we give and we don't receive, right, for ourselves. So sometimes we end up with a condition that shows us, oh, we need to give back to ourselves somehow. There's a lack there. Something is missing. So this is just starting to think in a different way, a different paradigm, right, about health and healing. And so when we have something, also having something in a particular location, say it's in your neck, it causes your consciousness to continually go to your neck, right? If you have pain, your consciousness is continually thinking, oh my gosh, my neck. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But if we can just change that self-talk to, oh, I get to put energy in my neck again. Oh, my neck wants energy again. Can you feel the difference between, oh, I'm in pain, and, oh, my neck just wants energy again. Oh, my neck needs some more attention. It needs some more love. My neck needs some love. And what's around my neck? Oh, thyroid, parathyroid, throat. How I swallow. The actual neck. How I look and observe. Like, needs some more support. Needs some love. Oh, my eyes are getting blurry. Oh, well, you're just getting older, and that's what happens with age. Is old paradigm, is Western paradigm, let's say. You don't do this old new thing. Other paradigm, health paradigm, could say, my eyes are adjusting to something. I wonder what my eyes are trying to adjust to. What do I want to see that I'm not seeing? Or what do I not want to see that I'm seeing too much of? What's blurry in my life? What's not clear to me right now that I need to experience in my eyes? And it's like psychic surgery, actually, to do this and to contemplate what this part of your body is trying to tell you, and to love that about you. Like, okay, not beat yourself up. Oh, I'm wanting to get clear, it's true. And I'm not clear, and I'm going to love myself anyway. I'm going to love that part of me anyway that's not clear, so that I can begin to become more clear. Because what we resist persists, right? So if we don't love that about ourselves, then we're going to have a hard time getting out of it. And so the healing process can be a continual rewriting of the mental and the emotional body, and that connecting back into love. Oh, we just want more love here. Oh, we just need more love. Yeah, I actually need to give myself lots of love. Oh, I haven't been giving myself love here at all, you know. And then we start to hear what you say during tapping, if you're familiar. You're like trying to go down deep into the core of that issue, and you're trying to like weed it out by loving it all the way, loving it. Even though I've done this, I love myself anyway. Even though I haven't been clear about my life, and I've been blurry about something, I love that about me too. I love myself anyway. as I'm unclear, because that will help me become more clear. And just again affirming the condition that you know is homeostasis, is the mind sort of leading that ship back in that direction. So when we become masterful of our mind, and why life mastery and life force mastery is so important, is it's what is the guiding force of our minds. Our minds also guide where our thoughts go, our prana goes, our life force goes. So when we're looking at something, we're sending energy to it. When we're giving our attention to something, we're sending energy to it. In our body or somewhere else, or in our home. So are we wanting to send energy to this thing, or are we wanting to send it elsewhere? So noticing where you're noticing things. And sometimes we over put attention on something outside of us to the point of draining us. And sometimes that's masterful too. We want to let certain things out. So we might do that outside focus in order to drain something out. But then again, we need to return focus so that we can fill up again. Okay, this video is probably about long enough, so I'm going to wind it down there. But we'll talk more about this in another video, or if you would like to do one-on-one work on this yourself, then send me a message at stasiabliss@gmail.com, or give me a little comment down there and we'll connect. Okay, this is to your health and healing. There is a way to shift your whole reality. Are you ready?